I genuinely did think that my March unboxing was going to be very chill, but I severely underestimated the amount of specifically Illumicrate sequels that were going to arrive this month. So I have 9 boxes to open for you guys in total today. I think 5 of them are just sequels that I've ordered, 4 of which are from Illumicrate, although one of them is an Illumicrate edition that I did purchase privately. And then I also have a Locked Library sequel, which, I mean, it's rare that I order anything from Locked Library these days. And then I also have my typical monthly subscription boxes. So we have the March Illumicrate. If you guys are unfamiliar with Illumicrate, you are going to get very acquainted with them in this video, but they are a UK based bookish subscription box. In every monthly box you get a brand new hardback book in an exclusive edition, either fantasy or sci-fi, and a selection of bookish goodies. And if you would like to get your hands on an Illumicrate after watching this video, you can use my code, which is Becca5, which will get you a discount on a 3 or a 6-month subscription. I am currently a rep for Illumicrate as well, so this one was sent to me free of charge in exchange for this unboxing. I am also currently a rep for all 3 of their monthly subscription boxes. So this is the young adult Fairyloot, the adult, and also the Romantasy. So Fairyloot are also a UK based bookish subscription box. In the YA box, which I believe is this one, you get a brand new hardback release, typically a fantasy, a young adult fantasy, in an exclusive edition, along with a selection of bookish goodies. And then the Romantasy and the adult Fairyloots are both book only subscriptions. So this is just a hardback Romantasy and a hardback adult fantasy book, both in exclusive editions. And then the final thing that I have is my March rep. This is so heavy. This one is my March rep box from Luna Bookish Flames Candles, which is a UK based bookish candle shop. I do have a discount code for Luna Bookish Flames Candles as well, which is Becca15, and that will get you a discount on your entire purchase if you would like to pick up some bookish burns. I think this time I'm struggling to balance all of these, but I think today I'm going to be starting off with the Illumicrates. I guess I'll start off with the monthly box. I think this is one of the latest one that arrived, and then I'll make my way through all of the sequels that I've pre-ordered. 2 of those sequels are ones that I knew were going to arrive because they're books that I just bought from the Illumicrate shop or privately, and then the other 2, I actually can't remember what one of these is. Oh no, it's fine, I remember. But the other 2 are ones that I pre-ordered at some point, like whenever the editions were announced, and they just happened to turn up this month. So starting with the monthly box, I'm interested in this one after last month's box, which is one that I know a lot of people skipped. So I'm hoping that the items in this one make up for the fact that the box overall last month was definitely not my favorite and not one of Illumicrate's strongest boxes. But the theme for March is haunting spirits. And if you guys would like to read the spoilers, you can pause and do so here. But as usual, I'm going to be going in blind. The theme for next month though is Rival Realms, and the book of next month, because I do spoil myself now, I look ahead to see what is coming up. The book for next month is one that I've been anticipating quite a while since I found out that Illumicrate were going to be doing it. So the first thing we have is one of the collectible Illumicrate items. This is one of their ceramic pots. I'm pretty sure that I do have all of them. I think I've been receiving Illumicrates since they started doing their collectible ceramic pots. But the theme for this one is fantastical forests. Is it going to be a green one? I think, was it the first one? It was a green one maybe. So it's been a while since we've had green. Do you want the box? Okay, you can have this box. So it is a green one. There you go. Goodbye. I really like the color of this one as well because it is a darker green, but as you can see, these are designed to look like fantastical textbooks. The front says walk through fantastical forests. We also have a spine on here which says forbidden, enchanting, and haunted, and then the little blurb on the back says wander untrodden paths and discover nature's secrets. I use these for a variety of things. I use them like if I'm picking random books or random themes during videos. I did a month of subscription box only reading vlogs a couple of years ago now, and I put all of the different types like in here to pick them out. I've got some that have like lip balms in. I put bookmarks in some of them, and they're just really pretty, so I do enjoy them. What was the theme again? Haunting spirits, just because I'm looking in this box and there's a lot of green in here, but the card is blue, so I'm interested to see if maybe the book is a recolor in a green. The next thing we have is a storybook setting location magnet. When I go on holiday, I'm not somebody who buys magnets, and because of that I have a lack of magnets, and I do use them to pin things to my fridge. I actually quite like it when they turn up in subscription boxes. This one is, oh, it looks like it might be a tarot card, and it says storybook setting blunder. Okay, so these are locations from books. I thought that that was the vibe, but it wasn't very clear to me. And this one is from the town that is in, it says our next location magnet. I don't remember ever receiving one of these. Is that me, guys? Like, refresh my memory there. But this one is the town from One Dark Window. We also have a coaster. It has quite a minimalistic design. I mean, it's pretty enough, but it is also just kind of like laser printed onto wood, so it's not the most elaborate thing. This one is inspired by the Jasmine Throne. The next item, I gotta say, I'm torn about it because it is an item that I like, but it is a blatant copy from another subscription box, and that is a Warden of the Wood embroidery kit. So for the last, I want to say, year or so, intermittently, Fairyloot have been including embroidery kits in their monthly boxes. I have received Illumicrate for 6 years now, every month, like as a rep for them, and I have never seen them do an embroidery kit, so I feel like, yeah, this is even like kind of the same style of kit that Fairyloot do. So I really like receiving embroidery kits because, like, I love me a craft. I have not learned to embroider yet, but it's something that I've kind of been interested in, and I will cycle around to doing my Fairyloot kits at some point, but I do typically just always have a craft on the go. But the fact that it is like such a blatant copy of an item from another box does put me off a little bit, just because I feel like if you're going to copy somebody's homework, at least change it a little bit, you know? And this has not been changed, but it is an item that I typically, like, I will make use of, and I do like them as subscription box items, so my feelings on that one are kind of mixed. I do really like the greenness of all of the things in here though, and I was right because I can see in the bottom of the box that the book of the month is also a color change to green, and this is actually one that I'm low-key interested in, but I don't know too much about it. So the book of the month, March's Illumicrate book, is The Prince Without Sorrow by Maythree. Whoa. Let's see if I can get a pronunciation on this. So I couldn't easily find a pronunciation, but I did find one that was Vijasekara, which did kind of feel right, but I will, before I actually read this book, I'll do a little bit more research into this author's name. But The Prince Without Sorrow by Maythree Vijasekara. I really, really like this cover. I will overlay the original over the top so you guys can see the difference. The original is blue, and it is very much in keeping with this. Like, this is an exclusive cover, not just a recolor, but it has kind of the same elements in a different formation. So, I mean, it's not the most beautiful cover I've ever seen in my life, but I like how Illumicrate have altered it. I also really like the edges on here and how they're kind of like a continuation of the cover theme. The back of this says you have to learn to be cruel before you can learn to be great. And inside here we have custom end papers that are different on each side, and we also have a letter from the author bound in, which is pretty much a standard with special editions now. And then under the dust jacket we have some foiling. So a pretty edition. I'm quite happy with the book, and I am interested in this story. But oh, the author is Australian Sri Lankan. But the synopsis of this one says, a prince born into violence. Prince Ashoka is considered an outcast for opposing his father, Emperor Adil Marya's brutal destruction of the Mayakari witches. A witch seeking revenge, Shakti vows retribution for the murder of her aunt and annihilation of her village at the hands of the Emperor, even though she's bound by the Mayakari's pacifist code, a curse that will change the world. In her anger, Shakti casts a violent curse, the consequences of which will leave both her and Ashoka grappling for power. Do they take it and risk becoming what they most hate, or do they risk losing power completely as the world around them is destroyed? Drawing on inspiration from the Mauryan Empire of ancient India, debut author Maythree Vijasekara plunges readers into the first book of the Obsidian Throne trilogy. So the synopsis in itself doesn't sound anything unique, like it has the kind of themes and plot points seemingly that I have read before in the past numerous times, but if it's done well, that's something that I really enjoy, so I'm still very much interested in this one. I do really like what Illumicrate have done with this edition. Down in my comments, let me know what your favorite item from this month's box is. I do think that it is a pretty good Illumicrate box with the kind of items that we have. The only item I actually will not find any use for is the coaster. I have coasters that I really like that I bought myself, but also in subscription boxes I've received much nicer coasters in the past. This is an item that I typically like, although I've discussed my mixed feelings on it. And my favorite item is probably the book pot, but I even like the magnet, so it's a win for me in terms of what we have in this box. So moving on to the sequels that I have ordered, we'll start I guess with this one, which is the one that I bought privately because I recently read, it must have been in my March episode of Shelve It or Scrap It, I think. I read This Woven Kingdom by Tahara Murphy, which to date, that was a 2022 Illumicrate book, but to date it is still one of my favorite Illumicrate editions, probably actually my favorite Illumicrate edition that I've ever received. And when I really enjoyed that book, I wanted to get my hands on the sequels. So the second book was unavailable in the Illumicrate shop, so I asked on Instagram if anybody had it and they were willing to sell it to me, because I could only find bundles for books 1 to 3 for quite a significant amount of money, like more than I wanted to pay considering I only needed to get my hands on book 2. And so I asked on Instagram, and Chelsea messaged me and very kindly said that she would be willing to part with her copy of these Infinite Threads. So This Woven Kingdom by Tahara Murphy is about a girl who is the lost heir to a Jinn kingdom, and she is in hiding. She is living amongst the humans, she is working as a servant in this estate, and on the side she's also making dresses to help earn some coin to secure her safety. So she has no real inclination or no real ambition to seize her lost throne and like help to reinstate her people. But we also have, because this is a romantic story, we also have the crown prince in here, who is, I'm pretty sure if I remember correctly, that they are just human, like it's kind of a human versus Jinn story where the humans have oppressed the Jinn and pretty much eradicated them, and they, while they have this facade of equality between the species, it doesn't really work that way, and humans are very much on top. We are also following the crown prince, who has been called home by his grandfather to start to be groomed for the throne, and he sees this girl, who is our main character, in the market acting somewhat suspiciously, so he decides to pursue her because he thinks she's some kind of like super elite secret spy, and starts to grow closer to her and want to learn more about her without knowing that she is the heir to this Jinn kingdom that could potentially threaten his throne. The first book is very slow moving, it's a lot of setup, it is slightly romantic in nature, although that is also a slow burn. And then right as we get to the end of the book, the story starts to pick up a little bit and we have more elements introduced and it starts to move a little bit faster. And the thing that I loved the most about this actually was Tahara Murphy's writing style. Because I loved the Illumicrate edition so much, I wanted to pick up the sequel in the same edition. I do prefer This Woven Kingdom to the design of this one, but I still think it is absolutely beautiful, and I'm so glad that I managed to get my hands on it. So thank you very much to Chelsea for parting with your edition of this one. It is shorter than book 1 though, which I'm very surprised about. And then somewhere in here I also have book 3. I don't think it's that one. Is it this one? Yes, it is. And this one I did manage to pick up from the Illumi shop because it was still in stock, which is All This Twisted Glory. So I wanted to make sure that I ended up with matching editions of these because of how hard it was for me to get hold of book 2. So even though I'm not that far into this series, I think it's actually going to be 5 books in total as well, I wanted to ensure that I had the copies I want. They're just so stunning. I actually really love printed hardcover design without any kind of dust jacket on it, and like the kind of simplistic just foiling of this. I'm a big fan. I also have another third book in a series where I haven't read book 2 yet, although I did start reading this series recently, so I do hope to get to book 3 soon. I intended to be caught up at this point, but honestly I'm just so far behind on my TBR because I've been working on other vlog projects that I haven't quite gotten there yet. But this one is it Faithbreaker? Faithbreaker. Oh, this is hella damaged. So I'm gonna have to, how? Because the box isn't even slightly damaged, like the box is fine. But look at that, I'm gonna have to get a replacement on this one, which I'm sure will be fine. I mean, it's been here a couple of weeks, but I'll just email them and show them the photos and get a new copy. But this is the third and final book in Hanakina's Fallen God series, the first book being God Killer, which has 3 central characters. The first one is a God Killer, somebody who is essentially like a mercenary that is hired to kill gods. We also have a little girl who is tied to a god, and they are trying to break the tie between them so that they can live independently. We are also following a retired knight who has been sent on a mission by his king to go into this city where the gods still thrive even though it's currently illegal to worship them, and find a solution to an ailment that the king, I think he's the prince, is suffering from, and they're very close, so the main character, the knight Elogast, agrees. So I really liked the world building and the atmosphere in book 1, so I'm very excited to continue on with this series. And I really like the Illumicrate designs. They are just a color change. I'll overlay the original over the top. I do really like this deep emerald, like bluey green colorway on this one. We also have, like with, this is a very similar color style actually to The Prince Without Sorrow, like the way that the edges and the cover design. I have noticed there is a lot of books currently being published using the same cover artist as this, which I think his name is Tom Roberts. I know Ava Reed's newest book has this cover design, as well as a Goldsboro book I received a few months ago. We also have custom end papers in here that are also signed by the author, and I really, really love the printed hardcovers on these ones as well. So shame about the damage, but like I said, I will contact Illumicrate and get myself a replacement on this one. It's even like there's not even any damage on the bubble wrap, so it's kind of been packaged like that. It must be warehouse damage. And then the last one that I ordered is one that I'm not sure that I'm keeping, but there is something in here that I did definitely want, which I will explain. So this one is the Illumicrate edition of House of Flame and Shadow by Sarah J Maas, which is my least favorite book of 2024. I'm a big Sarah J Maas fan in general, and I do have both the Illumicrate and the Fairyloot editions of this series. Previously it was just books 1 and 2 of each that I have, and then Illumicrate announced book 3. I am unsure if I want to keep both sets of these because I didn't end up loving book 2 and 3 in this series, while book 1 does remain my favorite of all time. But something that I did definitely want from this is the page overlays that come with it. So I have like multiple copies of this series, so I can just keep the overlays and put them in like a different copy. I'm not going to show you these as well because they'll probably contain spoilers, although I will have a look myself obviously when I finish filming this video. But the Illumicrate edition just has the standard cover, which is another reason why I'm not super bothered about having like an extra edition. I do really like the edges on here. They're nice, but they're not mind-blowing, you know. I do like how we have the deer, which if you know, you know, at the center of the design, and because it's such a thick book, it's like a substantial amount of surface on the edges. And I do actually very much like the reverse dust covers on these. I think they're beautiful, which is why I'm undecided about these editions and whether I will be keeping them. And then we also have foiling on the naked hardcover. This is annoying actually. I hate this. I hate this, and I hate this about this series as well. I think it was so poorly done, but I'm not going to be ranted. This is not the time and place to rant about this. I do have a spoiler video for this book though, if you want to know my full angry thoughts. But we also have custom end pages. They're the same on both sides. House of Earth and Blood was technically Sarah J Maas's adult debut, although you could argue that she's always been writing adult or crossover fiction. And this one is following a young fae woman called Bryce Quinlan, who is an arts dealer that is tasked with investigating a string of murders by the governor of the city, who is an archangel called Micah. The reason why she's been tasked with investigating these murders, even though she has absolutely no experience, is because she potentially has a personal connection to the case, and because it is extremely dangerous, she is assigned a personal bodyguard in the form of the fallen angel Hunt Athalar, who is the only good thing. No, he's not the only good thing about this series, because Ruin also exists, but I feel like he is one of the only characters who didn't have a personality transplant. throughout this series. So next up, I guess as a break from the books maybe, we will do my Luna Bookish Flames box. I can't remember what Manos said he included in here in terms of the themes of the candles, but I know that it's going to be another ridiculously large box because it's incredibly heavy. Hello again. It's sad because like I don't mind giving her packaging to rip up, but when I'm filming it's incredibly loud. We got a lot of big candles in here, the biggest that Luna Bookish Flame Candles do. So these ones I'm pretty sure are the 9-ounce jars. All of the candles from Luna Bookish Flames Candles are wood wicks, which means that they have a little ambient crackle as they're burning. This one is a Stephanie Garber candle, I'm pretty sure. I haven't read Stephanie Garber books yet, but it is Jacks of the Hollow. It is lavender, French vanilla, coconut and musk. I'm really intrigued about the vanilla and the coconut, but I don't typically like lavender. Okay, this is a very like subtle lavender scent. It kind of smells like Disneyland. No, it smells like sun cream, and that's why I think it smells like Disneyland. We then have another Stephanie Garber one, I think. This one is called Heroes Don't Get Happy Endings. The scent on this one is another coconut one. Lime, lemon, orange, apple, vanilla, musk and woods. We have pink glitter. This one is much sweeter, very fruity, and I like it a lot. Oh, a Pride and Prejudice candle, another book that I haven't read. I feel like I haven't even watched the adaptation, which I feel like I need to. Oh, this is another sweet one. Manos knows that I love sweet candles. This one's strawberries, vanilla sponge cake, whipped cream and strawberry jam. And yes, this is heavy on the strawberry with a little extra sweetness from the vanilla. Oh, this one is a Cruel Prince candle. It says, "Tell me that you hate me," and the scent is blackberry, blackcurrant, dried fruit, cinnamon and musk. I know this scent. I have used this scent in the past. This is the one I think from my Serpent and Dove candle, which is one of my favorite scents that I use. It's like a blackberry pie kind of scent, like a cooked blackberry fragrance. This one is a Fourth Wing candle, specifically Onyx Storm, and the scents on this one are pomelo, black pepper, vetiver and palo santo. So this might be one that I really enjoy on like the ambery side of the scale. This is more of a herbal scent than I expected, but I feel like this is one that's going to have a really strong burn. Next up we have another Fourth Wing candle. This one is Iron Flame. I feel like I'm unpacking them in reverse order. This one I feel like is going to be another quite strong, potentially masculine fragrance because it is ginger, wood, leather, musk, amber and tobacco leaf. We have gold or like copper glitter on this one, and yes, this one's a little bit more fresh than Iron Flame, but it is quite a woodsy one, I want to say. For the last of the jars before we get into some of the, I think they're 8-ounce tins, we have, oh, I don't know what this one is. It's another ship one and it's called I Will Always Choose You. Let me know the fandom down in the comments if you guys know. And the scent on this one seems like another one I'll really like because it is cherry, pineapple, coconut, heliotrope and vanilla. Oh my god, yes, this smells like cherry bakewell. Big fan. I love that one. For the 8-ounce tins, this one is another Fourth Wing. It says my house, my chair, my woman, and the scent on this one is cardamom, patchouli, papyrus, rosewood, limoncello and tobacco. So I'm expecting quite a spicy fragrance, and it has red glitter. This is definitely spicy, a little bit fresher. I feel like when it burns it will be a lot more rich, but it has like a little element of freshness to it. We then have Dragon Rider, another Fourth Wing. This one is grapefruit, lemon, bergamot, lime, thyme, vetiver, juniper berries, apple, cedar, rose, jasmine and leather. Masculine. Very, very masculine, which I like. The last of the 8-ounce tins. This one is the Shadow Wielder, which I think, is that Xaden? I say that because of the big dragon tattoo on his back. I've only read the first book and it was a while ago, but the scent on this one is oud, patchouli, sandalwood, amber and leather. So once again, expecting masculine. Yes. But this one has like a perfumey kind of scent to it, which makes it just a little bit sweeter. And then the last two that I have in here are the smaller candle tins to compare the size difference between the two. This one is called Love Hate Letters, and the scents on this one are lemon, grapefruit, apple, pear, peach, jasmine, lily, rose, violet, freesia, sandalwood, cedarwood, amber, vanilla, and musk. So definitely fruity. Yes, but like in a perfumey way. This feels like a dupe of a perfume, although I can't identify which one, but I really, really love the color of this one. And then the final one, I've got a big stack of packaging here I need to get rid of, but this one is once again Fourth Wing. It is Onyx Dragon, and the scents, oh, this seems like it's going to be like masculine and rich. Umber leather, citrus, bergamot, lemon, mandarin zest, neroli blossoms, lavender springs, jasmine petals, musk, and amber. So maybe spicy and rich, but also maybe like orange blossom. Oh yes, this is much more like fragrant than I expected in terms of being I guess a little bit more perfumey. I feel like it does have like a sweetness and also a citrus to it, but you can also smell the richness there as well. So thank you very much to Manos from Luna Bookish Flames Candles for sending this box my way. I do have a discount code once again, which is Becca15, if you would like to order from their Etsy store and get 15% off your entire purchase. My favorites of this unboxing are some of the sweeter ones that we had. Which one is my favorite though? I think that my favorite one is going to be I Will Always Choose You, which is funny because it's the only one that I don't actually know what fandom it is. So if you guys could let me know, that would be great. So next up, we will do the Locked Library sequel. This is the third book in the series once again, but this time I haven't read any of the books in this series yet. So this is a sequel to actually the first Locked Library book that they ever did. Back when the pics and their editions were very, very nice, and it didn't last very long. Let me tell you, this one is The Book That Held Her Heart by Mark Lawrence. I have read books from Mark Lawrence before and I do enjoy his writing, which is why I kind of feel like semi-confident invested in this series. I'm pretty sure that these are just a colorway change, so I'll overlay the original over the top, but we do of course have the printed edge on here. I love once again that it's green. We have a lot of green in this month's unboxing and I'm loving it. There are end papers, which I'm assuming are custom. They are the same on both sides. Under the dust jacket we just have a quote, and then the Locked Library spine, which is the same on all of their books. I'm going to be real honest about this one. I do not remember what this series is about. It has been a long time since I unboxed book one and read the synopsis for the first time, and I haven't started the series yet, so I can't give you any more clarification. I do know that it is something to do with a library. Like, this is a series that heavily centers around a library and books, and I've heard really good things about it. Like I said, I have read and enjoyed Mark Lawrence before, so I'm expecting really good things from this one. Moving on to the Fairyloots, we'll start with the YA. I have forgotten, I think, what all of the books are this month, apart from the adult, and I think the adult one is one of my anticipated releases of the year. So I am a rep for Fairyloot, like I am with Illumicrate, which means that I was sent all of these boxes free of charge in exchange for this unboxing, so thank you very much to Fairyloot for that. And let's see what the YA box has in store. I have to be honest, because I'm pretty late filming this one, I have seen spoilers for maybe all of the books. I try not to look at them when I come across them on Instagram, but I have seen pictures of most of them, and I'm very excited about this box already. I'm gonna hunt for the spoiler card, but we have an oven mitt. I love kitchen items in subscription boxes. It makes my day, and this is actually, it feels pretty good. The theme for this month is Eternal Embrace, which is intriguing. If you guys would like to read this, oops. If you guys would like to read the spoilers, you can pause here and take a look. I'm gonna be going in semi-blind because I can obviously see what's here. But the first thing that we have are these oven mitts. I love them. I love the design on them. They also have, like, they feel decent quality as well because they've got like this rubber backing on the inside to give you a little bit more protection. And they are, of course, for getting your hot things out of the oven. Instant favorite item. We have another magnet. I was just talking about how I love magnets. This one I think is inspired by Foul Lady Fortune, based on the fact that it says that, and it is like a little, I'm assuming a poison bottle or a potion bottle of some kind. This I feel like is a pencil case. It's very pretty. Yes, it is. It's just empty on the inside. This one is inspired by Only a Monster by Vanessa Len. I do own that book, but I haven't read it yet. Honestly, this art style makes me want to read it a little bit more because I think that the design on this is stunning. And I usually use these for my sticky tabs for the books that I annotate. We now have something inspired by A Diary of Blood, which are book tabs to put in my new pencil case. Perfect. These ones are, ooh, very nice actually. They have a gothic design on them, which obviously fits the theme of Diary of Blood. Book that I read, I think towards the end of last year, and I really enjoyed it. And then the last item that we have in here actually is one of Fairyloot's new collectible items, which is their bookish vases. So a couple of months ago they did like a floral Once Upon a Time kind of theme. This one looks a little bit more dark and gothic. It is the Eternal Embrace vase. I am still torn how I feel about these as collectible items. I'm not somebody who has a lot of flowers, don't like flowers very much, so I can't use them for that, but you can put other things in them, as I discussed when I open the first one, and I do like them aesthetically. I just don't know how much use I have for them. But the theme on this one is definitely a little bit more my vibe because it's a little bit more gothic, whereas the other one was like very floral and very like feminine in design, and it is obviously like, it feels like a very vampiric kind of style. And then the final thing we have here before we get to the book of the month are the tarot cards. So in every Fairyloot you get 2 tarot cards, eventually making up a full deck of tarot. These are usually these days inspired by the book of the month, so I don't really know who the characters are. The cards are the 9 and 10 of planets, once again looking vampiric. The spoiler card tells me that they are not inspired by the book of the month actually. This is Rose and Dimitri from Vampire Academy, which was a series that I enjoyed back in the day. You can actually see it. Can you? No, it's just slightly, I thought this is my Murakamis. I thought this was Vampire Academy. It's up here. And Bloodlines, actually, the spin-off, is one of my favourite series. So, with all of the vampiric stuff that we have in this box, I'm expecting that theme from the book of the month. In this bag as well, we have the monthly fairy scoop, as well as the bookmark that matches the spoiler card art. And our book of the month from Fairyloot is Where Shadows Meet by Patrice Caldwell. So this one is a completely exclusive cover, so I will overlay the original over the top. I do have to say, I actually like the original cover of this, but I also really like the reworked Fairyloot edition. I love a cover that has like just the text and some sort of like frame around it, but the back of this says True Love Requires Sacrifice. We have quite a simple printed edge. Ooh, this looks like a sapphic romance actually. It is vampires. Exclusive end papers that are different on both sides. Under the dust jacket we have a foiled hardcover that matches the cover of the book, and then under the dust jacket we have a color change on the original cover. So the original is black, this one has been changed to red. I like the shade of red for this, but I think I prefer the original cover in black. And the synopsis on this one says, once long ago a girl named Favra sacrificed her wings for love. Thena, the young goddess she so willingly gave them up for, sacrificed that same love for power. But everything has a cost. Favra never got over the loss of her wings, and Thena's choices led to a life of eternal night, and later their destruction. Favra has bided her time ever since, waiting for the chance to resurrect the girl she loved, who turned her into the girl she hates. Now, 1,000 years later, Layla, the crown princess of a vampire nation, must travel to Necros, the island of the dead, when her best friend is captured during an attack on the capital. Along with Naja, a fierce, beautiful seer, and the last person she expected to help her, Layla forges down a dangerous path, intent on saving her friend. But nothing is as it seems. The closer she gets to her goal, the more she risks awakening an ancient evil and destroying everything she holds dear. Not what I expected. Definitely sounds interesting. I don't love vampire stories, but I feel like that's more when they're on a contemporary backdrop. I'm still kind of burnt out from them from like the early 2000s when vampires were all the rage, like off the back of Twilight. But and well before that actually, because I was a big Buffy fan back in the day, which also had like a big vampire craze at that time. But with this being mixed kind of with a high fantasy setting, I do feel like there's more potential for me me to enjoy it. So let me know down in the comments what your favorite item from the Fairyloot box is. I do very much like this box. My favorite item remains to be the oven gloves. I love them. It is a very strong box in terms of we have one of their new collectibles. I love the art on the pencil case. So yeah, this one's a win from me. Not one of my absolute ultimate favorite boxes, but a very, very strong one. I am living in fear for May's episode of Shelve It or Scrap It because there are so many books here, guys. They're really stacking up. But our final box is the Fairyloot combo box. So this one has both the adult and the romantasy book in it. I can't remember, like, I know that one of the books I'm most excited about from all of the monthly boxes is the adult Fairyloot, probably the one I'm most excited about in terms of book choice, but I can't remember if I'm also excited about the Romantasy. You can see slightly through the bag that that one's the adult box. So I guess we'll start off with the Romantasy, which is more of a surprise to me because I've forgotten what it is. But the theme for this month, oh, I know what this is. This is the last book that I'm going to be reading for the Romantasy rundown, so I know what this is because I'm literally waiting for this unboxing so that I can film the beginning of that video. But the theme is Skyfire, and the book, I'm definitely intrigued about the cover of this because I don't like the original cover. The art style is just a little bit awkward, but it is Firebird by Juliet Cross. If you guys didn't know, I'm currently working on a 4-part vlog series called the Romantasy Rundown, where I read the first 12 months of the Fairyloot Romantasy subscription and explore romantasy as a genre, what romantasy means, whether I enjoy it, what it means to me. And this is the final book that I will be reading for that. Part 4 will be coming very, very soon. I'm pretty sure it's going to be the next video you see after this one, and I will put the playlist down in the description box if you guys would like to check that out. I've literally been waiting for this book. I know exactly what it is, although I can't tell you anything about it, so we will be reading the synopsis. But I do very much prefer this to the original cover, which I will overlay over the top. There is just something about that art style that I find very off-putting for some reason. I do also like the detail in the printed edge. We have lots of almost photographic, very detailed illustrated edges in this stack. We have custom foiled end papers, which are different on each side. And oh, this has Roman influence. I love me and like ancient Rome inspired story. But the naked hardcover is foiled, and then under the dust jacket, I think that this is maybe a slightly different colorway, but this is the original cover. Do you see what I mean? I just don't like it, and I can't explain why exactly. It actually almost makes me feel uncomfortable. But the synopsis on this one says, a conqueror captivated, a witch prophesied to save them all. From the moment Roman general, yes, Julianus Tachia laid eyes on Melina, he was enthralled by the Dacian dancer. Years later, the fierce beauty stands before him on a scarred battlefield, her life in danger. He instinctively shifts into his dragon form to save her, an action that may result in his head on the Imperial Gate. But he and his dragon know one thing: she belongs to them. Melina cannot believe that the centurion who once bestowed a secret talisman on her is the Roman general of legend and nephew to the emperor. His warrior prowess and brutality cannot be denied, yet all Melina knows is his gentle touch and protection, and she also cannot deny that her soul has always seemed to answer his. As they navigate a world where flying death riders conquer and burn, their love will ignite a firestorm that can only end in heartbreak or death, or both. Set in a reimagined ancient Rome, Firebird is an epic, scorching dark fantasy romance from acclaimed author Juliet Cross, and the first book in her series, The Fire That Binds. I am quite excited for this one, because the synopsis does sound like something I will really enjoy. I have heard really good things about Juliet Cross in the past. However, the books that I know of from Juliet Cross are a very, very different vibe from this. I haven't read them. I know that they're paranormal, but they give me like cozy fantasy paranormal romance vibes. So I don't know how that writing is going to translate into something described as an epic, scorching dark fantasy romance, but I hope that Juliet Cross can pull this off because I'm very interested in reading this one. And you're gonna hear my thoughts very, very soon. Like, I'm gonna be reading this literally within a week of filming this video. Fingers crossed. I hope I can pull it off. And then the theme for the March adult box from Fairyloot is Powerful Legacies, featuring one of my anticipated releases of 2025, because the vibes are immaculate in this book, I have to say. And it is, of course, Gifted and Talented by Olivia Blake. This one has just been described as like a fantastical Succession, and I'm here for it. I hope it has the level of petty drama that Succession has. I really do like what I've read from Olivia Blake. I like that all of her stories are very, very different, and I'm very excited to see what this one has in store. In terms of the cover for this one, I do like it, but I really do love the original cover. This is a very different style. I'll overlay the original over the top. If this was kind of like a cover of any other book, I feel like I would like it more than the original in a lot of cases. With this one though, I love the original so much that I do prefer that one a little bit. I love purple though, and Fairyloot also love purple, so that always works well for me. The edges on here are nice. I feel like during this unboxing video I've seen ones that are a lot nicer, but I like them. Custom end papers, which are different on each side. So the naked hardcover on here and the color of this is very reminiscent of the cover of This Woven Kingdom by Tahara Murphy. So I do really like the naked hardcover. And yes, this is what I was hoping for. The under dust jacket art is the original cover of this, the one that I really like in a different colorway. So yeah, I think I'm quite happy with this edition actually, because I do have the option of flipping it around, but I do also like the Fairyloot version as well. The synopsis on this one is actually quite a short one, but it says, where there's a will, there's a war. Everand, brilliant CEO of Renfair Magitech, is dead. As the so-called father of modern technology, he leaves an incredible legacy, and any of his 3 telepathically and electrokinetically gifted children could plausibly inherit the Renfair throne. Also, they like to think. On the pipeline of gifted kid to clinically depressed adult, nobody wins. As they gather to read Thea's final words, which Ren will come out on top. I love the concepts of Olivia Blake's books, but they can be quite hit or miss, so I'm hoping that this one is a hit for me and that I end up loving it. But that, I'm pretty sure, there is carnage around me, but I'm pretty sure that that was the last book for my March unboxing. So to the part that we all love, the stack of special editions. Oh, there's so many books here. But they're all gorgeous actually. I don't think I have one that I dislike. Probably the most underwhelming one is the Illumicrate version of House of Flame and Shadow, just because it is the standard cover. Everything else is pretty stunning, I gotta say. I will of course flip it around so we can see our stack of March edges. Let me know down in the comments, of course, which one your favorite edition is, as well as your favorite edge. I think in terms of edges, oh, it's difficult. This is really hard. I don't think I have a standout one. I do really like both of these and how they mirror the cover designs. And I think in terms of edition, also difficult. This I like. It's not especially unique in design, but I think it's very well done. Damn, I don't think I have a favorite edition. I do really like all of them. So I'm actually going to default to these Infinite Threads and All This Twisted Glory by Tahara Murphy, because they are sequels to my favorite Illumicrate edition ever. So I feel like they have to be my favorite edition of this stack. But that pretty much wraps up my March unboxing. I am not looking forward to balancing these for my May episode of Shelve It or Scrap It, but you know what? That is a future Becca problem and has absolutely nothing to do with me. So down in my description box, you are going to find a link to all of the boxes that I have opened here today. You'll find a link to their websites as well as their social media and any discount codes that I may have. But aside from that, guys, please do not forget to like this video if you liked it and subscribe if you wanna. And also down in my description box, you are going to find a link to my Goodreads, my Instagram, and my Patreon if you would like to follow me on any of those. But that's it from me today, guys. Bye.
Oh, you bite your friend like chocolate. You say you will go where nobody knows, with guns hidden under our petticoats. We're never gonna quit it, no, we're never gonna quit it, no.